Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's the one reality dating show, The Reunion Parts 1 and 2. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and you make sure to leave your questions and comments down below, and limited commercials to not ruin your flow. The cast and crew get ready for the reunion, and some want to remain laid back while others want some behind the scenes tea. Tammy says to production that I hope that everyone keeps it classy, but Kirk wants to see all the drama. I want to see someone fly over me to get it in. LaToya invites Ashley, Brent, and the Franklins to the stage. It was a long journey, but the Franklins have always played matchmaker in real life. Plus, Kirk wanted the world to see how funny, talented, and kind-hearted Tammy was. There's production clips of first dates, and the cast can't help but to laugh or feel embarrassed about first impressions. They welcome Lisa and Brian, and from the jump, Lisa called Brent her man. She wasn't attached that soon, she just was confident as she felt a connection. They bonded when it came to life dynamics and goals, and the physical attraction was important as well. When Brian first met Ashley, he felt that she was more to herself. He's learned over time just to be patient with people and allow more communication opportunities. Ashley thought the same thing, that he was reserved, and she wanted to get to know him. Brent is happy to see Lisa again, and they had a lot in common. They conversed like old friends, and her style was always original. She rocked a vintage look tonight. Now we add Steve and Richie to the mix. Steve's first nightcap was overshadowed by a little alcohol, while Richie was determined to know Brent as much as possible. Since the last eliminations, Richie feels like she's okay. She made it through, and it's nice to see Brent again. Steve still communicates with everyone in the house except for Ashley. Not intentionally to be mean, but it just kind of naturally happened that way. LaToya wants to know if it was triggering for Ashley to see Steve a little tipsy over and over again since her father was an alcoholic. She didn't think so. There was just another time in which Steve had a little too much to drink, and Lisa can attest to it. It was the night when there were eliminations. He didn't care because he could feel he was going home. There's behind the scenes footage of Steve stumbling along, not holding back on the fun. Now it's time to look back on the dates and nightcaps that weren't so great. Marcus, Jason, and Tiffany were lost in their own sauce. Marcus was too reserved, Jason was too forceful, and Tiffany didn't shy away from the free food and drinks. Jazzy remained cool, calm, and collected, which allowed Brent to make his selection. Ashley didn't invite either guy that evening because she didn't vibe with either one of them. It seemed over a brief period of time that Brent and Ashley seemed to go against their own words, that they would date anyone with children and someone who didn't work out. The date with Stephanie and Maika, both women who were mothers and really didn't go to the gym, and Addie and Shavar, who weren't too fond of working out either. Regardless, everyone had a good time. They all laughed and there were connections made. Maika even shared gifts with Brent during the nightcap. They all joined on stage and everyone looks incredible. While the footage ran, host LaToya couldn't help but to notice Richie and Lisa laugh. They say that they're laughing at the gift exchange, as looking back at the moment is a little strange. Everything that transpired in the mansion, Richie feels the video looks very uncomfortable. Brent clarifies that at the moment, everything felt sincere and he loved the gifts. Maika thanks him for the comment and responds quietly, defending herself. Now there's nothing else to be said. Now Richie is left eating her words. Ashley always said that she wanted someone who worked out because in a previous relationship, over time, she watched him let himself go. So staying in shape is important to her. Shavar takes the time to be transparent. He admits that he doesn't work out as much, not because he doesn't want to, but says it's just difficult for him to lose weight, especially now after being over the age of 40. His employment allots him to sit for long periods of time, limiting his day and time dedicated to the gym. He tries each day to get better and better. LaToya points out that everyone is beautiful, and she's happy to see everyone varying from different sizes, styles, and personalities. Sometimes it will take influences from outside sources to sway what we think we may want in a mate. It's all about getting to know someone. We take a look back at the first time Brent and Ashley met and the awkward moments between Ashley and Kenny. Kenny not only gifted a Coach bag on the first date, but even shared a video to his so-called future wife. Dante seemed like a nice guy, but she didn't know if he was shy, so she invited him to the mansion to get to know him more. The choice was tough between Mika and Ashley, so Brent allowed the other Ashley to make the decision for him, which was Mika. The burning question that the fans wanted to know is, would he would have picked Mika if Ashley hadn't made the decision for him? Mika takes a more politically correct route with her answer, as she understands Brent had a difficult decision to make, so he used other resources. Ashley felt she picked Mika because she seemed a little bit more down to earth, especially after seeing her eat that chicken wing at the nightcap. If she didn't care about anybody watching her eat or her relaxing, then that was her true self, so she felt Mika was a little bit more genuine. The choice was difficult for Brent because he needed more time, and he didn't have enough time. And Mika was correct. He needed to reach out and get additional opinions. The host wants more clarification, and some of the ladies don't want a politically correct answer. He explains that knowing what he knows about the ladies now is different from when he first met them. Knowing what he knows now, he had more of a friend connection with Mika. With that being said, he would have chosen Ashley. Mika agrees. Over time, Brent seemed more like a homeboy she could always call and laugh with. They never got past a certain level for her to stay. She understands why she was eliminated. We take a look back at some of the clips for Dante, and Dante says, there was some connection, and I look handsome on Thursdays. LaToya didn't get the joke, but he helps her out. I came over for the nightcap on a Thursday. Now, LaToya gets it. Ashley felt her connection with Dante felt professional. They talked about business. If they had more time, who knows how things could have gone. The final dates before everyone moved into the mansion was interesting, as the dates with Ashley got steamy, and Brent's selected choices, Leah turned down the offer. Leah felt that there wasn't a connection like she hoped. From there, Brent still had interest in Ashley and wanted to ask her if she could come back to join him in the mansion. He was so nervous that he needed help from Kirk. Gladly, she said yes. Matthew and Ashley joined the group. Ashley felt that it was important to go directly to Mika to explain why she was there in the mansion, since she was technically eliminated. She urged Mika just to make the best of the moment and have fun. Mika appreciated Ashley's kindness, but Mika also wanted to speak directly with Brent because he did kind of throw her off. Some of the ladies say Ashley said it over and over that she was brought back to the mansion, but she said that's because people kept asking me over and over. There's some back and forth of yeses and nos, but LaToya keeps the conversation going from the drama and speaking directly to Matthew. Him and Ashley are in good spirits, and he wishes her all the best. They both agree that chemistry was there from the beginning. His discipline about not drinking and celibacy made him attractive to Ashley until there was doubts about his honesty. Brian and Steve couldn't help but to laugh. Matthew says it wasn't easy to voice my celibacy on such a large platform, and his decisions and certain beliefs were made long before the show. Brian and Steve's body language continued to give them away as they're not buying it, and a few more in their body languages express some doubt. Matthew continues that no matter what happened, he's proud of himself for not faltering and submitting to the flesh, and is still proudly celibate to this day. Let's take a look back at some of the dates that didn't quite make the cut. Jason wasn't shy from being vocal and taking back the drinks. Tiffany was in her own world, and Leah, who declined the offer to the mansion. And we can't forget about Kenny, who gave too much too soon. Ashley was a bit confused as she vibed with Jason, and he turned into another person when he got drunk. Tiffany didn't feel offended because she knew he was drunk. Kenny just felt that time was limited, and the right time was to go all in. There was limited time to talk to Ashley. He says that it might have seemed a little bit more pressed because he had prayed for someone just like her. She's an amazing woman, and she could have potentially been a future wife. Ashley says that when she spoke to him alone, she asked him what he liked about her, and he gave a generic answer. He says, no, there was a lot of distractions going on, and what he said specifically was, that just because she existed, he wanted to be a better person. Leah feels that her decision to decline the offer was genuine, and there just wasn't enough time to decipher if there was a true connection with Brent. She didn't want to waste anyone's time. Brent knows that she's a great person, and her decision was respected. The point of the journey was to find someone who was open to the process and getting to know him. You also have to factor in connections. She's right. Jason looks back at the footage and says that he's always been the life of the party. Also, he didn't take aim at Tiffany. He was just vibing with everyone. He laughs it off, but apologizes to Ashley and Tiffany for coming across in ways that were offensive. He even apologizes to Brent, and Brent says it's all love. Tammy feels that the main focus for both Brent and Ashley is that they both experience growth and possibly love. They went from date to date, then moving into the mansion with all potential connections. LaToya wants to know if the ladies felt they met everyone's true self or their representatives. Richie feels that she was herself throughout the entire process, but Lisa leans her head with silence. Lisa said that there were times when Richie would turn up on her on camera, and those times she felt that she wasn't being real. Richie says that I turned up on Lisa. That was because she was acting like she was fake. Well, there were certain instances where I felt like she wasn't keeping it real. Lisa came to me and was like, well, we gotta make this pact to get rid of the ladies in the house. And I admit I was down for it. Now, Ashley is shocked to hear about this information, as she always comforted Richie in times of need. Lisa confirms that it was Richie's idea and not hers. Richie, you specifically said if we were the last two standing, then I was cool with that. And of course, Kirk is getting his wish now as there's drama. Richie sways over whose idea it was and says that I made the pact, and it was just like I realized over a period of time, I started to get to know these ladies and thought, why am I acting like this? And why am I participating in this behavior? I don't want to be like this anymore. She even said to Ashley and Mika that she was in a pact, like she confessed. She even says a lot of rumors were spread thanks to Lisa. Brent can't believe his ears, and the entire room is quiet, listening to the tea. As Richie continues to speak, she's very loud and gets even louder, then calling Lisa a liar. Lisa is boiling, and her focus now is directly on Richie. She appears to be seconds away from blows, so much so that Kirk tones down the moment and asks if Richie can stop so they can move on. We gotta give everybody a chance to speak. It's the end of the reunion special part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. To cool down the room, LaToya wants to know from the Franklins, out of all endeavors, what made them decide to do the show. Kirk jokes that we needed the money. After it gives the room a much-needed laugh, he keeps it real. The reason why they did the show is because dating is very complex. Also, sometimes in the Christian community, we're restricted on how we view things when it comes to dating. Social media has a big impact on how we see people, as we constantly see their edited versions. One should see the real deal and accept the flaws, inconsistencies, and embrace everything. True love or getting to know someone should happen with first impressions. But as you start to keep it real and get to know one another, you can't help but to unveil the real person. Once again, Kirk says that he'll pass around the collection plate because he just gave a word. They move on to the first moments of moving into the mansion. Brent and Ashley were amazed at such wonderful candidates, and some got a little steamy on the first night. Ashley and Matthew shared a kiss after deep conversation. Ashley shares that Matthew was the only guy she kissed. Others received kisses somewhere else, like the cheek. Matthew admits that he's been celibate and he wanted to get things popping that night, but he had to take control and chill. On another topic, Brent and Brian went from having a small debate to a bit of an argument. Reviewing the footage, Brent again is disappointed how he handled himself, and again apologizes to Brian for his behavior. There might have been some energy from the first time when they had contact in the nightcap house, when Brent thought that Brian didn't say hello when he walked in. Brian clarifies that I said hello and I thought Brent heard me. Plus, Brent was busy in the kitchen. I meant no disrespect. He respects Brent and only wants the best for him. They dab it up and they're glad to continue to move forward. Moving on was more tea. Maika, Jazzy, and Lisa went into Brent's room after the conflict with Brian in the mansion. Jazzy clarifies nothing happened with Brent. That night, I was so exhausted and I fell asleep in his bed, while Maika and Lisa were still in the room. LaToya has to keep it real with Maika. It was very obvious that she felt some type of way about it all. Maika admits that after their first date, she thought Brent and her had a connection. So when Brent let Jazzy sleep in his room, she got in her feeling bag a little bit. Yeah, I even talked about it to Ashley, but I didn't go around talking to everyone else. Jazzy said that she was mad that everything happened and nobody ever came to her. She was at work the entire day and all of the women were talking about her, only to get back after a long day's work and be completely blindsided. She didn't think that falling asleep in Brent's room was such a big deal. Brent chimes in and says Maika didn't come to talk to him either. She just ran with assumptions. Ashley steps in to give some reason that a lot of the women probably would have felt the same way no matter who slept in his room. The other Ashley also clarifies that Maika did come to her, and since she was very emotional, she spoke to Brent about it. Looking back at the moment, maybe she shouldn't have said anything to Brent at all. She even apologized. Now LaToya wants to know why Ashley eliminated Dante. She felt Dante's effort wasn't as strong as the other guys. Dante wants the room to know that he's not a shy guy, he's just very observant. It takes time for him to read the room and review someone. He wasn't going to run behind Ashley and say over and over, pick me, pick me. Not all of the guys did that, but some did. Addie B thinks Dante is an awesome guy, but in their setting, they had to pursue Ashley. Plus, there was only so much time to do so. Shavar adds, yeah, and some guys may look good on paper, but if the connection isn't there, it isn't there. Not Dante. Dante fires back and says, and hit dogs gon' holla. What y'all hear? Also, after Ashley eliminated me, it told me a lot about her because I need to know that a woman can make good decisions. She picked Steve over me. They all laugh and Steve says it's because girls love to have fun, man. The fellas take it all in stride and dab one another. Moving on, one morning, everyone wakes up only to know Ashley is nowhere to be found. Ashley was disappointed in a lot of things. She told Brent about Maika. She did the same thing that Brent did, which was letting someone or going into someone's room throughout the night. Ashley felt comfortable talking to Matthew out of all of the men in the mansion. Jazzy can't keep it quiet, so she just basically did the same thing. Okay. When there was a slight conflict between Brian and Jazzy, Brian says, what I was going to say was that you're a grown woman, right? So you can do whatever you want. That's it. I was on your side. Ashley said when that happened, she felt unsafe and they had just talked about arguing. So in that moment, it kind of made her look at Brian a little differently. Jazzy tells Brian that it's his tone and the way he delivers what he's trying to say. And Brian apologizes as he never meant to come off abrasive. Now let's talk about some honesty. We see the footage of Ashley telling Brian that she kissed Matthew and she loved how disciplined he was when it came to drinking. But Brian says, no, he just took shots with me the other night. Matthew says if there's any footage of him drinking, I told Ashley I would leave. Brian says that Matthew was behaving like he was drunk and he was acting like he took a shot. I'm not babysitting to see if he actually drank the alcohol. He's not one to go and run to tell on a man for drinking. The topic was brought to him by Ashley. Plus, they're all men competing. LaToya wants to know from Ashley, does she believe that Matthew drank alcohol in the mansion? Ashley said that originally when Brian told her that detail, she was doubtful about Matthew. But after she spoke with Matthew, he seemed sincere and she believed him. She eliminated Brian because of the Jazzy situation. It was off. Plus, he mentioned to her before, he always feels like he needs to get his point across. What if they're at a bar somewhere and just because somebody misinterprets his tone, he can't walk away? That's kind of dangerous. Now LaToya wants to know if there was a deeper reason why Jazzy self-eliminated. She felt that she didn't want to compete for a man. If another woman wanted to do it, that's fine. Brent was disappointed she self-eliminated, but she made her own decision. LaToya wants to know why Brent eliminated Lisa. And Lisa felt that she brought her son to meet him, and then she was eliminated. Brent wants her to know that her son was not the reason at all. Her attempts of public displays of affection were so strong that it made the other ladies leave. Plus, it seemed like she would only try to be all on him when other people were around. And when they were in private, nothing happened. Lisa says she knows that's how he felt, but that wasn't her intent. She felt that she was the same way every time. Now is the important question. Ashley was adamant about drinking, but Steve was in the house lit all the time. So why did he stay in the house for so long? Ashley says that Steve was the only one that prayed for her in her times of need and meditated with her. He's a great guy, but closer towards the end, she had a better connection with other people. Steve was not shocked when he was eliminated because he started to feel they developed as friends. He didn't feel like he wasted his time. He had fun, and the cherry on the top is he met some amazing people. All the ladies agree that Steve is a fun guy. So Brent selected Ashley as the one, and Ashley felt that their connection grew stronger and stronger, and then she started to manifest their potential. There's footage of Brent and Ashley working out together and enjoying one another's company. They continue to date and they continue to get to know one another. Their bond is stronger than ever. When it came to Ashley, she chose herself as she needed more time to heal and build a better relationship with God. LaToya wants to know from Addie and Matthew if they felt shocked about her decision. Addie and Matthew agreed that they respected her decision and only wanted the best for her. But Addie felt that she had a better connection with Matthew, so when she didn't choose him, he was shocked. Matthew said out of all the times they talked, they never discussed eliminations, and he knew she would make the best decision for herself. Steve can't take his pageant answers and says, "Come on now, Matt, you were the only one kissing on her and getting that good quality time. You knew you had everything in the bag. Like, really? Stop it." Matthew says, "Well, you were shooting 100% and missing 100%. Steve says he always knew from the beginning that there wasn't a connection. It wasn't a secret. What you mean? I don't care if she picked me. What you talk about, boy? You was falling in love, not me." LaToya wants Ashley to continue. Ashley felt that she was in no position to date someone else, and the process shined light on that fact. She was so focused on finding a husband and building a family that her relationship with God wasn't right. Tammy and Kirk understand everyone's decisions and hoped that everyone would feel better and gain something positive when they left. He can't stand when people say their marriage is relationship goals or they're the GOATs. People should always focus on being their better selves and evaluate their own relationship goals, because when Tammy or Kirk let someone down, now you're down. Plus, no one else can wear their little clothes. Everybody gets a good laugh, and they close the reunion special with this. Remember that love is a journey, not a destination. Thanks for kicking it with your girl in all of the episode recaps of the TV One Network's reality dating show, The One. Make sure that you stay tuned for more recaps and reviews, and also how I felt about the series. My real review, okay? And get ready to get your laugh on, because I'm going in. Thanks for bearing with me as my nose was real stuffy, y'all. I know it was super annoying, but I had to get it to you. In the meantime, in between time, remember to love yourself and each other. Make sure to check out those playlists. Until next time, bye.